the Mad Hatter Show. And I got a good friend of mine. He like, fool, I ain't seen you in 20 years. How good a friend are we really? You know, that's what people always say, though. Dezz, white comedian, super comedian, is in the building with us today. I'm about to say this morning, like I'm back on the morning show. I'm going to just jump right into it. I have not seen Dezz. Okay, probably was like 20 years, but I see him on a gram. If he's doing something, I see a YouTube clip or something like that. But, you know, with Instagram, you're a part of people's lives.
True.
No matter if you want me there or not. You know what I'm saying? And I saw you on, I don't know what you were doing or what I saw. I'm like, Dezz, oh man, I love to talk to Dezz because I have not seen you. So this is my egregious opportunity to say what's up to you and at the same time get some work done. And to find out what you've been up to because I have not seen you do your thing in a long, long time. But I know you still out there, you know, I know you still doing it. And it was funny. I was talking to you about what other skills do you possess? Because I know you're a comedian extraordinaire, but what other skills could you do if you decided one day, I don't want to do this no more?
Nothing. I really don't think the other thing I can do other than bullshit you all day, I can do that all day. I done mastered that skill. Comedy helps you master that skill.
But so there never was and this is what, because, you know, I kind of walked away from radio with no real true plan. Just, you know what? I'm just going to do me. And as I see you, I'm like, oh, you know, there has to be some other things that he's interested in when people are not seeing him. Maybe he's doing this. Maybe he's doing that. Maybe he buy homes. I don't know. I never know. I never, because I'm not into the rumor monger mill, so I don't ask questions too much, so to speak, because, you know, you start talking to people, oh yeah, he doing this, and then right. You go down this rabbit hill of business that ain't mine, and I don't like that information in my head. Right. Not just because I don't want to gossip, I don't want to hear, I don't care. I just want to know people are doing well. Yeah. So I never, but now I'm gonna be nosy, get in your business and all that stuff since I have you here.
You got space for your hard drive. You got space on the
I had
hard
to empty
drive
out some, brother. But and also while you're thinking about all that, also I don't know Dezz's story. This is what these little podcasts that I do now is really about me. I have so many unique individuals that are friends, people that I know the surface of all of them. Like, I know the surface of Dezz. I don't know the depth of Dezz. I don't know exactly what side of town he's from. Did he come from Oklahoma? Did he come from Cali? Is he a transplant like myself? I don't know none of this stuff because I mind my business most of the time.
You're a Pisces, ain't you?
I am. Yep. Yeah, we are Pisces. I do remember that. Okay, I do remember that. We are both Pisces. I do remember that. So I think you're from Houston.
I grew up here.
Okay.
Yes, I grew up here. Okay. I was born in Louisiana, and my parents migrated across to civilization.
What part of Louisiana?
Northern Louisiana, Shreveport.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And they escaped to Houston. And so I grew up here. Started doing comedy.
Born, raised, school. No, not born, but raised, school.
Yeah, school. College, I went to Grambling.
Really?
Yeah. I ran track at Grambling University.
See, there you go. This is what I'm trying to find out. You ran track.
Yeah.
Were you truly into it?
First of all, I wasn't really a runner. Okay?
Oh God, here we go.
I was a long jumper, triple jumper, and a high jumper.
This is still highly respected. So you say it as a throwaway. It still can get you to the Olympics.
True that.
Okay.
But, you know, a lot of my friends were sprinters, quarter milers, hurdlers, and they would always mess with me like, man, you don't run track, man, you just gonna go over there and play in the sand, lay on the mat. You know, and the only reason why I ran track really was because all my friends did. And it was something they were doing. I'm like, well, y'all running track practice and I'm at home with nothing to do. I might as well run track.
There was no real serious that was the only thought, just this is what the homies doing, so I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah.
But better than running into trouble, right?
Well, you know, I had my share of that too.
He said, hold on, don't speak too
track
soon.
Season is only so long.
But were you on scholarship?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you had to be really good to get to Grambling, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, so you didn't want to take it further than you got to Grambling, and did you get distracted by the beautiful women there or school? You were totally into it. How did you get distracted?
I realized that you really can't make no money being a high jumper. I'm like,
Oh, gosh.
like I don't see no money in that like that. So I was like, yeah.
What was your major?
Kinesiology.
That's the study of
Movement.
So you didn't want to do anything with track, maybe be a teacher?
Well, when I started, first of all, when I went to college was a shock to everybody. Okay, let's start there. My college.
What high school did you go to?
I started out at Smiley. I went to Klein Forest, and I graduated from Scarborough.
Was that moving around your decision or
from decisions that I made? Yeah, I remember Klein ISD telling my mother, "Your son will not graduate from Klein ISD. We don't care what he does."
So were you
how many times he come back?
Were you class clown, always into something? What?
No, man. Honestly, high school was boring to me.
Really?
High school to me was just a daycare for big kids. It was boring to me, man. Like it wasn't that I failed. They was like, there's no way you missed this many days and can pass this class. And so I didn't pass the class, and I didn't pass because I didn't go. It wasn't because I failed.
But you could do the work.
Yeah.
And did that exceptionally well. But since you weren't in class,
you failed.
Wow.
You missed too many days.
So how'd you manage to get to college? Somebody had to get you to simmer down, as they like to say.
Well, when I graduated finally, I was on a 5-year plan. And and when I said I was going to college, the look on my mother's face was like, I loved that she had that look like, I didn't fail. This some bitch is what? This I did it. You know, so that's why I went to college. And then when I went to college, oh, you gotta take the SAT and all that. So I took the SAT. And when I enrolled at Grambling, they was and mind you, Grambling was open policy at the time. Mm-hmm. And they were like, yeah, no. And I was like, what? They was like, we trying to figure out how does your SAT score match this GPA that you don't have.
Mm.
And I was
so the SAT was that high, and they're like, this is not making sense for us.
Yeah, and they were like, so how is this? And I told them my story. Mm-hmm. And they were like, all right, will you be in summer school? I said, if that's what I need to do. Mm-hmm. So I went to summer school and took the classes during summer school, all the freshman classes that I was taking, and during that, walked on track.
Real wow.
Yep.
So did you become a dedicated student at this point?
Actually, I was, because I enjoyed college way more than I enjoyed high school.
Wow. Okay.
It was cool. For me to be able, what got me for college was the fact that you could set when you wanted to go to class. So,
you want to be in control.
Hey, man.
You're a true Pisces.
Hey, man, as long as I can go to class
you do
after all my children went off,
it.
I never miss class.
So you go to college, you're doing well in sports, but you decide this is not making money for you. And did you know that you were always funny too?
No.
So when is Grambling where you find out that Dezz White is funny?
No.
No, okay.
No. Like I left Grambling when it got to a point to where after once the sun go down in Grambling, there is nothing to do in Grambling. I'm from the city, Houston, Texas, North Side city
always
boy.
Something to do, yeah.
I was like, hey, I can't take this. This is cool, but I gotta do something at night. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I gotta transfer.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I gotta transfer. I still wanted to stay in school, but I said, I just can't. It's just nothing to do here. It's just, I can't do it. And a chick I was dating, or thought I was dating, was going to school at the University of North Texas.
Wait, I gotta. Why did you think you were dating her?
I mean, because I thought we were dating. We had been
you were
dating.
in a relationship. It seemed like you were in a relationship.
I thought we was in a relationship. But when I transferred to the school where she was,
you found out that
I wasn't the only one in the relationship.
You stupid.
I'm like, oh yeah, nah, okay, yeah.
So you seem to have handled it well.
Well, I've grown.
Or maybe you didn't. But you get there, and however you handle that situation, you handle it. And so while you're there, obviously, wherever you go, you decide to stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to the University of North Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You get there, still same major. Are you still playing sports, or that's the rap at this point?
I was pretty much done.
Okay.
With track at that point. I was like, no.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was going to school, and now I'm paying for it. And I'm like, ooh, this shit is expensive.
Yes, sir.
Like, and I'm thinking, I got 3.5 more years of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm going to owe a lot of people some money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, I got to, if I'm going to be broke, let me be broke and not owe nobody. Because they say when you get out of college, you broke. And when you get out of college, you start off.
Yeah, you broke.
So, and Steve Harvey had a comedy club that he had just opened. And I knew this because my cousin played for the Dallas Mavericks at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, man, I'm partners in this comedy club. Let's go to the comedy club. I was 19. I didn't know what a comedy club was. And in my head, I'm trying to put it together. I'm thinking comedy, and me, 19, I'm thinking club, like a regular club, DJ music. I'm like, how does that work with comedy? Like a comedy club? And we go, and the first person I saw on stage was Shucky Ducky and Steve Harvey. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I had never been to a comedy club, had never seen it live or anything before, and I was like, I think I could do that. And I just kept it to myself. I hang out with my cousin every time at home game or whatever, and we go up there and hang out, and I just look at it, check it out, see different comics. I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I got this. And they had Apollo night. And this is when Steve Harvey had just started hosting Showtime at the Apollo.
Wow, okay.
And he had a thing at his club that he would have Apollo night. So people that would win on Apollo night, you could eventually work your way up to the finals at his club. If you won the finals at his club, he would take you to be on Showtime at the Apollo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'm going to do that. Go to Apollo night. So I'm in college. I'm telling my roommate, and they, of course, they drinking and encouraging. Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. Because I was never the class clown. Mm-hmm. I was always the school smart ass, but I was never the class clown.
Now, what's the difference between the two?
I'm not always trying to make you laugh, but I would say something and be like, oh, this smart ass.
Gotcha.
Okay. I was that guy.
Okay.
Coach would say something, you
like, say something back.
Yeah, it wouldn't be funny like you. And coach pretty much, well, he can't really argue. Smart ass. So I was that guy. So I went, and it was Apollo night. Me, my roommates, and some people that lived in the complex that I lived in. We all drove down. I was like, yeah, I can get y'all in. Don't worry about it. I know the door people, and I did. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, we all got in, and Steve brought me on. Steve Harvey was the first person to ever bring me out on stage. And I go out, and I don't know nothing about comedy. I'm thinking these guys are just freestyling. This is just stuff coming off their dome. This is how they, this is how they be funny. Mm-hmm. And I got up there, and right after he said, yeah, this guy's going to do comedy. And he asked me my name. I told him, I said, Dezz, I said, Dezz. He's like, all right. And y'all get up for Dezz. And I say, and the first thing I did was try to crack a joke on Steve and how big his lips are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That didn't go over well. The crowd booed me right off the rip. Right off the rip. And I was like, and Steve came right on back out and probably talked about me for about 10, 15 minutes. But I'm listening to him. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about me. Oh, how you gonna come out? You don't come out and talk about the host, da. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that makes sense. That's why they booed me right after I said that. Okay. That's cool. I'll be back next week. So I went back the next week, this time I wrote my little jokes, wrote some stuff down that I think is funny, and I get to it right when I got ready to go, get into my material, boo! It got booed again. I was like, okay.
That's the dude from last week.
That came 3 months later. The dude from last week. I can honestly say I got booed once a week for 6 months straight.
Wow. What made you continue to go back? And because most people don't have the temperament, the fortitude, the ability to accept, you're not in, you're out.
Well, the first thing for me was I was like, these people in Dallas, they don't know me. I ain't from here. So that part, it didn't bother me that I took that right out. Like, I'm from Dallas. I ain't from Dallas. These people don't know me, so I'm not worried about it. So when I kept coming back, I noticed that I would get a little further in my routine. Mm-hmm. Because when Steve was up there roasting my ass, he was like, yeah, you got to have a routine. You just can't bring your dumb ass up here and you think you just did it. And, and I'm listening to all this. Mm-hmm. And so I noticed that I would get a little further in my routine before they booed me. Now, they would still boo me because they would say that, oh, that's the dude from last week. Boo! And I'm talking about everybody from Oak Cliff, Stop 6, Fort Worth, and the whole Metroplex would boo. It was wild. So it got to the point we would come, my friends that would support, all of a sudden they was like, yeah, man, you was really good. I was like, man, I saw you booing too, man. I saw you booing too. Man, it was just a wave. Everybody get into it, man. You just got into it. Like, y'all ain't shit. And one day after I didn't finish the routine, but got pretty much to the end of it, Steve came to me and he said, hey, man, you really trying to do this comedy stuff, ain't you? And I was like, yeah. He said, I'm going to start some on Wednesday nights. It's an open mic. And I'm like, okay, what's that? He was like, this is when you can come. He said, and you're going to be able to get your material out. Nobody's going to boo you. If it's not funny, they're just not going to laugh. Mm. And let me tell you, I'd much rather people boo me. Because it's nothing. I'm gonna tell you, you want to really agitate a comic, don't boo them. When they get to that punchline that they think is a punchline and you don't laugh, oh, crushed.
Gotcha. Crushed.
And like a lot of comics now, they ask me because my style of comedy is like me. It's easy and laid back.
Yeah.
And a lot of comics ask me, like, man, how are you so comfortable with the silence when you're on stage? Because a lot of comics, it's got to be boom, 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 boom. They got to have that laugh. They gotta have it. I learned that when people are not saying anything, a lot of times they're listening. And it's not that it's not that you're not funny. They're listening. Okay, maybe they didn't think that was funny, but they're still listening.
They're not booing you.
Exactly. So for me, that's one of the things that I learned going back. That's one of the things that drove me to keep coming back from when I was getting booed.
When did you know that, okay, this is kind of working for me? I feel it.
Erykah Badu was a waitress and the stage manager at the comedy club for the open mics. Okay. So you had to sign in with Erykah. And every week, I'm just trying to come up with a name for myself, trying to separate myself from, at that time, that's when all the Def Jams and all that was like booming. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, how do I say, I'm like, okay, I could use my initials, DLW, and I'm like, oh, they already got a DL Hughley. I can't do that. And then I was like, oh, so every week I would come, I was Dynamite D, I was everything, to the point to where every time I would come, Erykah go be like, all right, what's your name today, nigga? Who you gonna be this week? And I said, I don't know. And she's like, all right, what's your name? And I said, my name is Desmond. She said, Desmond? I said, no, Dezz me. And she goes, oh, she said, well then, just be Dezz. And I was like, D-E-S? And she was like, no, do D-E-Z-Z. And I was like, cool. And it's been Dezz ever since.
See? Wow. What now? Did she give you any advice? Because you came there every week. Did she ever say anything to you like keep moving or give it up? Or did you ever hear anything like that from her?
Erica always told me what was the in office talk kind of thing. She was like, they like you, stay away from it. She would tell me like, they stay away from them over there. All they gonna trying to do, they just trying to get the girls when they get off stage. Don't stay away from that. She said, cause Steve like you. Steve like that you come up here. Steve likes you. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. And then she was like, all right, hey, they gonna have an opening. They need somebody to warm up the show next week. You don't get paid, but it's a big crowd. Whoever the headliner was that weekend, like I was like, all right, cool. Just come in and do 5 minutes. I'm like, bet. So she would always plug me in like that.
When did you know? What was that? Yeah, when did you know that? You know what? I think I'm making this comedy thing happen. I've not that you might have felt like you arrived, but you definitely took a couple of steps in the right direction, and your mama can actually say, okay, I think he'll be all right.
The first time I taped Comic View was that, and because my mother been to one show, and this is back in when I was going to Steve Harvey days, and she was like, I don't know why you left school for this, but she was like, okay, but my mother is not. My mother is the cameras, lights.
That ain't her
at all. To the point to where she like, I don't know what happened to you. Did I not give you enough attention or something? I can't believe you do it. So, but it was when I taped Comic View, and my grandmother saw it and she was like, if that's what you're gonna do, I'm all the way behind you. And she been all the way behind me ever since. The peaks and the valleys, And I was in California, like, mama, this ain't working out. This is a little rough out here. It's a little spot. Well, I got another room here at the house. If you
well, at least you can go back home.
If and that's always the thing. She's like, if you need a room, hey, I know that entertainment
Was that
stuff.
ever an option for you, or you like, nah, I gotta stay in this and make it work?
It was all because I love my mother so much, and which also drives me to make it work. So
during your, like you said, there's peaks and valleys. When you got into valleys, do you ever sit there and say, I should be doing something else?
Yeah. Sometimes it makes me look and I wonder, I'm like, okay, what if I would have just stayed at Grambling, finished college, and because my plan then was to be a football coach and a sports administrator at a university. And so when you sit back and I'm like, man, I'm just sitting here and I'm not doing anything today. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not moving. And just like, you have to keep going. And that's when you put a lot in your faith. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, it's funny because a lot of times I be like, okay, God, I told you I'm not going to quit doing this. I felt this is what you put me here to do, so I'm headed that way. And something will pop up. Somebody will call. Hey, man, what are you doing for the next 12 weeks? Psh, you tell me. Hey,
what are we doing?
Right? We on the road, da-da-da-da. Like, okay, like earthquake. The first time I went out on the road was with Steve Harvey. And so he always, and up until a few years ago, that had been the largest audience that I had performed in front of.
He would always come back and put you on stuff?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
he didn't forget you?
He still had his comedy club.
Right.
So when he would do shows, hey, we're going to do this. Like, I need somebody that's going to open up. I remember when he told me, he said, man, I need somebody that's going to open up for my HBO special. And I was like, he said, you want to do it? I'm like, yeah. He said, man, all right. He said, now you're not going to be on HBO. They recording me. So don't get up here and try to show out that. And it was a trip because I said, how much time I got? He said, you got 10 minutes. I was like, bet. And this is one of those moments when I knew I had arrived. I did 7 minutes into my set, and the DJ is just flashing the light. Now, mind you, I know this 10 minutes backwards and forwards. So I know I'm not at 10 minutes. He's just flashing the light. And I'm like,
and for those that don't know, the flashing light means it's time for you to remove yourself from the...
And when you see it flashing real fast, that means get your ass off stage now. So when I saw it, and I was like, okay, so I got to the end of the joke and I ended it, and I'm mad. And I'm getting ready to go cuss the DJ out. Like, man, what? And I'm walking. And as I'm walking, I'm passing Steve. And I guess Steve saw that I was hot. He was like, stop. He stopped me like, hey, that wasn't Tony. Tony was a DJ. He like, that wasn't Tony. That was me. This is my special. And I was like, I get it. And
he said, I can't be mad. Wow. Wow.
I was happy for the opportunity, and it was great. And I was like, yeah, okay. Steve cut me short.
You know what? Don't you think any other comedian would have possibly been upset by that? Why was your demeanor like, I understand, where others might have been like, I don't understand. This is all, I'm on hot fire. I need this opportunity. Don't stop it.
For me, it was for, number one, the respect that I had for Steve, because Steve would always take the comics after the open mics at the end of the show, after everybody's gone, and have us in the back of the club and would talk to us, like, hey, man, y'all need to do this. Y'all, stop trying to be me. Stop trying to do this. And, and I would listen to Steve. Now, of course, Steve going to tell you in a Steve Harvey kind of way. And everybody would take, I'm a grown-ass man. Who you talking to? You don't say that, and I get it. But at the same time, I'm listening to him like, hey, this dude knows something I don't. He got this club. He's on stage. He knows something I don't. Let me listen. I don't care how the medicine tastes. Let me take it. So I always had that respect for him. So when that happened, to me, it was like, hey, if I made him get me off stage,
maybe I'm all right.
Yep. And that I knew that the crowd was where he wanted it to be coming out.
I got you. You got him.
Because I know the showman that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man.
Well, respect on that. Why is there oftentimes, it seems like there is comedian beef. Comedian beef is like hip-hop beef. Seems like they're always, I don't know what that energy is, where there's like a small group that get along and everybody else, they don't get along. What is that? Or why is that? Maybe you can explain it from that perspective.
A lot of times with comics, it's, first of all, a lot of comics are some real bitches.
God.
I mean, let's just be clear. A lot of them are. And they are. And that's why I don't hang with a lot of them. That's why I can't. Like, some of them are cool, and some of them, they got to be on all the time. Some of them only hang out with you to run their jokes by you to see if you laugh. Oh, that's got to be funny. And then some of them just want to hear some of the stuff you say and be like, okay, I can make that a joke. So with comics I think a lot of it is their insecurities and jealousy, because you're jealous because that person you may think that person is getting that star before you, or he's making this big money before you, like it's gonna be gone, And so a lot of times with comics, that's where it comes in. How did he get that? Or how is he doing this type thing? And
why did you never gravitate towards it? Like, I've never really heard, when we were around each other, I never heard you berate any other comedian. Not to say that you don't. I doubt that you do. You're a Pisces like me, and we have a tendency to keep our heads low and not give a damn about anybody else because we're so hyper-focused on where we're trying to get to, which we always have to apologize for. So,
right. for me, it was just I didn't. It's just me. I'm not that kind of person. You know, I'm not the kind of person to really worry about what you got. And I like to celebrate people. To me, I like boasting about the people that I know and the things that they do. I actually enjoy that. Like, I love saying, yeah, I know Cheryl Underwood. That's my dog.
Cheryl's cool.
You know what I mean? I love saying that about my friends. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people don't genuinely mean that. Mm. Sometimes I think a lot of people do it because they're like, okay, yeah, now this is going to be an opportunity. So when he get right here, then when he get there, I can ask him because he should be able to do this for me because I think he's there, you know. And I never was that because, again, like they say, what's for you is for you.
Which brings me to, are you completely satisfied with where you are? Do you ever sit back and say, oh, if I just had made this turn, or I should be here? You know, we all sit there and sometimes we play that. No, I'm lying. We don't. We're just always trying to get somewhere. But have you ever sat there and said, I wish that I made this move and perhaps maybe I get to this spot here? Not to even be popular or on top, just in your head, to be doing what you want to do that you love to do.
Sometimes, but usually when I do, it's usually immediately followed up by, what am I supposed to be learning here? Mm. Like, what am I supposed to be learning here? Because I figured that's why I'm in that position. Like, this is, it was probably, I probably didn't make that turn because it's something I didn't know that I need to be learning now. You know what I mean?
I do. So you went left not knowing, because you needed to get some more information to know that maybe you should have went right, but the next time that opportunity comes, you know I can make that right.
Right.
Because now I have the information. It's called growing, getting older, maturing, actually learning as that's happening.
Right.
On foot. So now I know you're a dad as well. So how do you balance all this, be a dad, still have a life outside of comedy? How do you balance all that? Or does everything become a part, or has the potential to become a part of the Dezz White comedy special? You understand what I'm saying? The things that happen to you, like joke using it, kid, joke using it, mama, joke using it. You
yes.
Know? Okay. Yeah.
Yes, like it does. And like my kids are grown now. And growing up, I never really joked about my kids, more their mothers. Because I got two baby mothers.
Okay, gotcha.
You know. And they're great mothers, by the way. You know, horrible girlfriends, but great mothers. But so they were. So I always tried to stay apart. In there, I started to stay a part of their lives some kind of way. Mm-hmm. You know, being on the road, like, and when I wasn't on the road, like, let me go by, do something, pick him up, pick her up, do something, go somewhere, do something. You know what I mean? I always tried to stay a part of it, stay a part of their lives like that, to where, like, hey, I'm not gonna be where you just forget your dad. Mm-hmm. Like, early when my son, I used to actually take him on the road with me.
Oh wow, okay.
Because his mother just wasn't totally bought in on the whole comedy thing, and she was like, I don't want to hear nothing about you got a show. It's your weekend, damn it, come pick him up. And I'd be right over there. Mm. And you know, and she get back, what'd you do? Oh, me and my dad went to the club. I had a drink with an umbrella in it. That's when I had to sit down and tell my son, look, man, you don't tell your mama everything we do. You had my son in a club? Like, hey, I had to go to work. Mm. You know.
Wow. How do they look at Dad now, you know, as far as his career and what he chose to do? Does it make for interesting conversations? And are they very aware also? I'm asking you loaded questions all at the same time, but are they aware that this is, you know, their dad is this famous comedian?
Yeah, they do. My daughter still is like, Dad, don't don't get up there and talk about me, Dad. My daughter is still like, don't mention me. And I like, it don't care, right? She's like, yeah, I know you're gonna say it anyway. So my son is he don't care. He long as the spotlight is not directly on him, he's cool with it. Yeah. So
do you enjoy? Have they had a chance to, like you said? I know you said you took your son with you on the road. Have they had chances like to come watch you perform and be part of the crowd? And do they come back and then say, Dad, I watched this. Maybe you shouldn't do that joke, or maybe you should do it this way. They start telling you how to be a comedian.
My son is like, he's always amazed because he's like, damn, Dad, we think just alike. That always amazes him. My daughter now, she is, I don't know why you said that. You shouldn't have said that, Dad. That was rude. I was like, but it was funny. She's like, yeah, Dad, but that was rude. I was like, but I wasn't. I was on stage and I was saying and it was funny. Well, I just thought it was rude. It's now she'll go through and see some stuff or some of her friends will tell her that's what drives her crazy more than anything.
The friends.
Yeah. My friends really think you're funny. Well, your friends are intelligent. I'm glad to see that you are hanging around a better group of people. So that's how me and my daughter go back and forth at it all the time.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Are you a fun dad?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. A lot of sarcasm in the home.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot. And that's when we talking. A lot of times we walk, we ain't saying much or nothing to each other in the house. A lot of times, hey. That was it,
You wild.
And
Dezz.
now that my daughter's grown, like my daughter likes to go out, like my daughter likes to hang out with me and my friends.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and like she loves hanging out. I want to hang out with you and your friends. We go to happy hours and stuff, and she loves to sit there and drink and listen to us go back and forth and rag on each other or however we play or whatever. So, yeah.
That's good, man. Great relationship. And that's usually hard to do, trying to maintain. I think whenever you're an entertainer, that life is hard on families. Military life, police officers, firefighters, any of those jobs, they seem to be hard, on families all the time. So it's hard to create balance. And when you're able to create balance and have a good working relationship with your kids, it's priceless.
Yeah,
it's priceless, man. So I salute you on that, man. I know it's hard to do. What's the next? What's on the plate for Dezz White next, man?
I'm doing a Kenan Thompson has a comedy thing that he does. This is like the 13th season. And I was selected to perform in that. And it's apparently a whole big deal that he does across the country. And I think they grab a person from each region. They go out to New York and do a whole big spiel in front of different casting agents, managers, and some sorts, stuff like that. and Hannah, being a Pisces, you know this. We don't get overhyped about
in the detail of nothing. And I always feel bad because people want us to be as hype as whatever their thing is. And they're like, man, you doing this, that, and this, and that, and the other. And we'll be like, yeah, just trying to feed the family. And they're like,
right.
What is that? And you always got to apologize. I hated that. That was my whole career, is apologizing for being myself. Well, how don't get excited? Somebody give you, your boss give you, more money. Oh, man, this is most money than we ever gave to anybody. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm done. They're like, man, such and such was dancing on tables. Man, I'm appreciative. I'm kind of laid back. I don't get excited because I think we're always trying to understand everything. And that's to me, it would be hard to be a Pisces comedian. And here's why. I know my brain cannot sit still. This is my biggest problem. It cannot sit still. I do 5 things at one time. I'll be doing this, and then maybe I got 80, whatever. But then I'll start doing this, and it's just too much stuff in here. Even when I can't sleep good because, as soon as I go to sleep, oh, you should have did this. Oh, you should be doing that. Won't you just take some notes right quick? So
right.
I think it would be hard to be a comedian because your life is telling stories. So you have to absorb. You have a tendency to absorb everything around you.
Right.
So to me, I would think it would be terribly hard to be a comedian because my brain would be able, I wouldn't be able to say that was a good joke because I probably would think all the 20 things that I just saw were hella funny. But me and you would probably be the only ones to get 3 out of 10. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the way the mind of the Pisces run is it's crazy. So that's why I salute you. I think the job of a comedian is so hard, and I think people think that I don't think everyone has that gift.
And that is one of the hard things for me in writing is my mind is there, here, there, doing, and when I'm trying to put a joke together, what I found for me is that if I don't remember it, it's not funny.
Wow. Okay.
That's how.
Facts.
That's how I do it. If I don't remember it, it's not funny.
Do you have like a plan? And I don't know if this is in the comedy's handbook because I don't do that. Is there like I got a beginning, middle, end? How are you formulating your joke in your head so you can tell it?
A lot of times, comics. A lot of times when you see stand up, it's a routine, and it has beginning, middle, end. Now, sometimes depending on your audience, what is normally your end may have to be the beginning. And a comic, to me, a great comic can work their material that they have, that they know is funny for any audience. You know it's funny. Whether it's matter if it's all female or male, if it's funny, it's funny. And a good comic knows how to work that material to where I need to switch.
Can you freestyle it? And have you seen comedians that they can come on stage, they might have beginning, middle, end and know where they want to go and can flip it around. But also depending on that crowd, they can adjust and all of a sudden, you know what? They're just off top of the dome and they're able to zero in on this crowd that's in front of them. And I don't know if a lot of comedians do that.
And a lot of comics can. A lot of comics can't do it that often. For a lot of comics, it's catching lightning in a bottle that night.
Got you.
And so, and sometimes that's when you write your best stuff. You come up with the funniest stuff sometimes because you had to improvise and go off the dome. You're like, hey, this is a new joke right here. You know.
Are you cool with that,
Yeah, I love it. I do it sometimes. I try to do it sometimes on purpose to where like I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna go up here and wherever this crowd takes me, that's where I'm gonna go, because I still know I got my bag of jokes over here that I know that are funny, and so wherever I'm freestyling to, and if and I'm looking like this ain't going the wrong way, let me reach over in this bag
and pull it out.
You know.
How do you handle the heckler? And I think you've already answered this when you first started. Like, you're so used to it, you're probably not too moved by a boo or somebody saying something crazy in the crowd. No,
it don't. And usually at that point,
your ego never gets bruised. You don't.
No, because it's not going to end well for the heckler. Because when I'm on stage and a heckler started to heckle, the first thing I'm doing is going straight for your throat. I'm going to say something, they going to laugh, you going to say something, they might hear you, they might not, I might repeat it, I might not, I'm going to say something again, they going to laugh, then you going to get mad, and before you know it, you're getting kicked out the club. And everybody laughing at you, because I'm still talking about your ass as they're kicking you out.
Wow. Okay. Sound like you had this happen before and you handled it well.
Oh man, I've had my. You ain't been around long enough as a comic if you hadn't had a Chris Rock moment.
What's the Chris Rock moment?
When somebody walk up and slap shit out of you. I've had fights. I've had a bottle thrown at me before.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the way you so you handle this by what? Like, because you're Pisces, so physical stuff is not tolerated.
Right.
All right, I'll just leave that there. Do you have at least, and it sounds probably like you'll probably say Steve Harvey, but one comic that you just really admire, you like, this is the top of the food chain when it comes to comedy.
For me?
Yes, absolutely.
Living or dead?
Who?
Living or dead?
Oh, wow. Oh, give me both. One living, give me one dead. No disrespect to the dead.
Right. George Carlin and probably Chris Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it about, though, or what is it about those folks that you admire as far as being a comedian?
The writing, their jokes. At the same time, they're funny. It's actually something that makes you think about other things, not just some goofy boo-boo joke. You know what I mean?
Don't sound like you're a fan of the.
No. No.
And when did and I'm not gonna ask you too much because I know you got things to do, but just
I got all day, Hal. I got all day.
You made me forget what I was going to say. Again, I do this because it's totally people are fascinating to me. And I don't want to have to rush through talking to people and have to have an interview done in 2 minutes. In talking to you, there's things about you I never known. Never thought to ask then. You making your moves, I'm trying to make mine. It's cool to be able to just sit down, though, and then discuss with somebody. And it's like, man, I knew he was a good dude, but I didn't really get an opportunity to know all that.
Because I was selling cows during the pandemic.
But your hope is that they continue to be successful and they're doing what they want to do and they're happy doing it.
Right.
So I really just wanted to say that I think you're a stand-up guy and you've done it your way because we're not really good at doing it any other way.
Right.
Unfortunately. Not really great at listening as well. We have to do it, and when I say we, I'm talking about Pisces people. Have to do it their way. But that's another reason why I salute you, because I know it's a lot of stuff going on inside your head, and it's hard to maintain everything that's going on in there sometimes.
Like, you don't know this, but I learned a lot from you from afar. With my run in radio, I didn't have the desire to do radio. I knew nothing. First of all, I didn't know they got paid that kind of money in radio. Let me start there.
Some.
Yeah.
Some.
And so when I started doing radio, like, I would watch from afar, like, and I would listen, like, okay, how does he do this? How does it sound? Like, how does he sound? Like, how does he get these people that don't see him? And he ain't cracking jokes. He's, delivering information and playing music. And it's like they're in tune. For me, it had to be, to be in tune, it's got to be funny for me.
I got you.
And so when I was trying to how to transition that into radio, I would listen and watch you, Larry, and soak up as much as I could to where when they actually started paying me for it, I was like, wow, okay. This is...
It was a good run, my friend.
I was like, okay, yeah.
It was a good run till it wasn't a good run for me. And I enjoyed it all the way, and then it started, you know what? The business started getting not enjoyable. And I think every business, you probably go through the same thing in comedy. It's to me, what you do is such a freeing thing. And then you learn that there's still politics connected to this thing that seems freeing.
That's what got me about it.
And there's nothing you can do about it because it exists in, you don't want to say it's politics, but it could, there could be somebody chosen and you don't know what's going on or why they seem to be the chosen one and all kind of things, but you can't worry about that. You got to stay focused on you. You can't worry about the politics.
True.
You can't worry about what somebody's getting because they don't how's he? I see what happened there. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to keep being the best you that you can be.
He's like, wait a minute, how did he get to be a nephew? What the hell? Wait a minute.
Okay.
Like, wait a minute. That sound like wait.
Lordy. I'm thinking because he's great at what he does. Let's just leave it right there. They're all great at what they do.
Hey, we all are at some point.
Obviously, there's some people that you probably don't feel that way about. I don't know all these people that you know, so.
Hey, they got some thieves that ain't never been caught.
Wow.
Okay? They call cat burglars. They the coldest ones.
Wow. I'm going to say that I don't know what you're talking about because I don't know. You speaking in comedy code, so I know if a few comedians watching this, they like, oh, yeah, we know exactly what the F Dezz is talking about. So that's on y'all. I'm going to let y'all work it out on your playground. I'm a fan from afar. I think all of y'all are brilliant. I'm moonwalking like my MJ out of that one.
Come on, Hatter. I don't see you sharing no boo-boo jokes.
I don't got none. You know what? Listen, man, I was able to finagle myself through an entire career. And I can't complain. And for those who caught a wave, man, I salute the people who caught waves and are able to maintain themselves and live a particular lifestyle. I salute them, man. I don't worry.
Because catching a wave is one thing. Being able to still ride it is something completely different.
There you go.
You know, so when you can still
especially
ride
for a long, there has to be some kind of substance there if you still are part of the wave.
Yeah.
So you got to salute. Well, okay, I will. I don't know. They're like, shit, I ain't tipping nothing. But no, thank you, man. Thank you, and good luck to you on everything that you're doing. Give them your social media, man, so they can. I don't know. It's so funny because you know what? 1 minute you can be political, and next minute you can be funny, and I like the contrast. That's me, though. That's me. And like you said, your comedy is slow and kind of in your face.
Right.
I'm okay with that too. But tell them where they can follow you and you can find out for yourself.
You can follow me at Facebook. It's comedian Dezz White, and of course it's Dezz with 2 Z's. Everything else is Dezz White. Instagram Dezz White. Twitter it's Dezz White. ITS Dezz White.
And one more thing. What is success to Dezz?
Success to me is being able to inform and help the people around you. That's success to me. You can inform the people around you and help the people around you.
Purpose, passion. Salute Dezz White. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir.